My name is Patrick Cooper. I'm a reptile curator in the Queensland Museum's biodiversity program. Last year in 2016, we hosted the first World Science Festival in Brisbane at the Queensland Museum, and at the time they were planning this, they asked the curators and other staff whether they had any good ideas for the festival. And I suggested that we hatch out some loggerhead turtle eggs in the public galleries. We successfully pulled that off at the Science Festival last year, probably had visitation from 20,000 people or more during that festival, and we're repeating the same thing this year on a slightly grander scale. What we did last year at the Science Festival was a world first, I believe. Cole Limpus and his team have hatched eggs here at Monrepos in transparent incubators before in the interpretive centre here, but they've done it at ambient air temperatures and the eggs have just hatched when they were due to hatch. To actually calculate how many days it's going to take at a certain temperature and pull it off in front of the public so that they actually get to see what you want them to see, as far as I'm aware, has never been done before. This is important because it increases public awareness to one of the amazing miracles of nature that is on our very doorstep. Turtles also have many conservation issues, and we were just trying to increase public awareness, let them see something that is never seen. Turtles usually hatch from their eggs deep within a nest chamber. We were doing it in transparent incubators right in front of the public and raising their awareness of the various issues that turtles face. People are just absolutely blown away by the experience. So there are numerous threats to turtles in the wild. There are heavy losses from predation. Sharks and things certainly take turtles. And then there's all the human elements. So on the nesting beach, coastal development and lighting behind a beach can disorient hatchlings. Hatchlings at sea will eat little globs of oil, bits of plastic. They're geared to feed on floating macroplankton, so they basically eat what they encounter. That can clog up their digestive systems. At sea, they're prone to being caught on longline fisheries, tangled up in gillnet fisheries, all sorts of things. So there are a huge amount of hazards. They estimate that probably 1 in 1,000 hatchlings actually makes it back as a mature adult to breed. Cole Limpus, who runs the turtle program at Monrepos, Cole and Duncan collect the eggs in advance and incubate them at a set temperature. What I do is I pick up an incubator here with the eggs. They have such a wonderful knowledge of the incubation period from numerous hatchling trials over a long period, so they can actually calculate out the date that they want the eggs to hatch at. I have an incubator upstairs and at the museum. I keep a very close eye on it, monitor the temperature, and when those turtles start hatching in the incubator, I wait for that first snout to poke out of an egg, and I bring them downstairs and put them on public display, and people get to see most of that batch of eggs hatching out before their eyes. I'd never done it before, and the eggs a few days prior to hatching start to collapse. I thought, oh no, something's going wrong here. But I came in one morning and little snouts were sticking out of the eggs, and I thought, oh, this is great. Yeah, it was very satisfying to know that I'd got past that initial stage where I was very nervous about the whole thing. It's a cautious drive back. I take it fairly slowly. I try and avoid any potholes. Feels like a great responsibility. The eggs are probably more robust than I give them credit for, but I go and check the incubator temperature twice a day, and I come in the weekends, I check the temperature. So when I actually see those eggs starting to dimple towards the end of the incubation period and hatching on the dates we've hoped they'll hatch, there's a great sense of relief. Once you connect with something, you identify with it, and you actually relate to the plight of these animals and want to maybe volunteer here at Monrepos, or your actions in disposing of your rubbish become more important to you. There's a whole lot of things that public can do. When people saw the turtles hatching, they were absolutely amazed. Everybody had questions about it. The loggerhead turtles that nest here in southeast Queensland, they're one genetic breeding unit, and they occur from the Capricorn Bunker Islands down to some nesting in Moreton Bay. We released the turtles last year off Mooloolaba, so we released them within the area they breed, and it is our belief that they'll return to the southeast Queensland coast to breed on an appropriate beach. Well, the eggs that we're incubating now do have a better chance of survival, and especially at this season at Mon Repos, there were a lot of deaths related to the heat wave we've had. So turtle hatchlings were dying in the nest, and the daytime emergences were dying on the beach from extreme heat. So these eggs were put in the incubator on the evening they were laid, so they weren't exposed to any of those heat-related risks. And also, by releasing them 20 k's offshore in the Eastern Australian current, we remove any of that heavier inshore predation. So in early life, yes, they do have a greater chance of survival, but bear in mind they have another 30 odd years ahead of them to avoid the various risks out there to actually make it back and breed here. I suppose my favourite thing about turtles is the complexity of their life histories. And they're animals that have been around for many, many millions of years, and they're absolute survivors, and that we have a chance to help them with this increased mortality from human-induced mortality is, a great thing to be involved in. You good?
Not yet.
Tell me when you got it. Thank you. Okay, now we'll just put that there, lip down. So we've got the eggs all safely packed now, and everything's firmly wedged in, and we're about to hit the road, and should be back in Brisbane in about 5 hours' time.